Welcome back and welcome to my January TBR. I cannot believe that it's January 2018. It feels like only yesterday I was making my January 2017 TBR sat in this same spot in front of this bookshelf. It's nice to have some continuity. Now we're getting to the stage where I did actually have my books, so that's good. January was a really good reading month for me last year. I'm currently filming this on the 3rd of January to be uploaded onto the 4th of January, and I haven't really done any reading. I've listened to a little bit of audiobook, but yeah, hopefully once the readathons kick in, because there are a couple of readathons in January which kind of saw me through from last year as well, I'll get more into the spirit of it. I've just been really tired and headachy, so I've just wanted to kind of be. But I have been listening to some audiobook, and let me tell you about what I want to read in January. Really long introduction, sorry about that. Firstly, we've got the January releases. I have one book on my Kindle, one book that I've pre-ordered on audiobook, and one book that I have a physical proof of. So it's quite a nice little way of doing it. On my Kindle, I have the next part in the Castle Court series by Holly Hepburn. This one landed on my Kindle because obviously I have a UK Kindle, it landed on the 31st of December, but this one is released on the 1st of January. It landed on my Kindle at 5 o'clock the day before, because of the time difference, and this is the second part in the series. I have had a little read of this so far, and hopefully we'll be finishing this one this evening, because it is a serialized novel, so they're nice quick reads, and once you start reading them you don't want to put them down. Then the book that I have ordered on my Audible pre-order is Still Me by Jojo Moyes. I looked at which kind of thing I wanted to pre-order this book. Like I thought, well, I do the Kindle, well, I do the physical book, and then I'll get the US one. It comes out in the US on the 30th of January, comes out in the UK on the 25th of January, and I actually listened to the previous two books in this series, Me Before You and what's the second one called? Oh, I'll get back to you on that one. I actually listened to both of those on audiobook, so I'm like, it makes sense to pre-order the next one on audiobook and stick in the same genre, format, not genre. It's a bit like Lindsay Kelk's About a Girl series. I've listened to that one on audio, and I got a proof copy of the second one on NetGalley, and I really struggled to read it on my Kindle because I was so used to the audio, so I just pre-ordered the audio and listened to it as soon as it was released. So far we've got Frosty Mornings at Castle Court by Holly Hepburn and Still Me by Jojo Moyes, and then this one was on my December TBR and I just didn't have time to fit it in. That is Anatomy of a Scandal by Sarah Vaughan. This one comes out on the 11th of January. I've heard amazing things about it, and I've had this proof for so long, and I feel really bad that I haven't read it yet, but I know it's going to be one of those, from what everybody said, that I'm going to pick it up and not be able to put it down. So I'm hoping to carve out some specific time to read this one, so that I can pick it up and not put it down and read the whole thing. So we're looking for a day where I have enough time to read just under 400 pages. So we're hoping that I'm going to just do this one possibly this weekend. Then on the blog post for my January TBR, I've included some February releases that I might get to as well, because I'm really excited about some of the books that are coming out in February. I'm not going to talk about these here because they're all on my Kindle, so there's no point, I have nothing to show you. So if you want to find out about the February releases I might get to in January, you can follow the link in the description box to the blog post covering my January TBR. Then we have some other books I want to get to. One of them is another Kindle book. I'm sorry I don't have it. And it's been on my TBR. It was on my November TBR and it was on my December TBR. And I'm about 40% of the way through it. I read it on a plane and then I haven't picked it up again because I was reading a couple of other things that needed to go back to the library. You know how it is. And that is The Place We Met by Isabel room. I'm really enjoying it. And so again, it's one of those where I want to have enough time to be able to sit down and kind of read the rest of it. You know, maybe this evening I'll run myself a really long bath and read the remaining 60%. The plane ride was the perfect time to read the first chunk of it because I could get really into it, and I want to have some time to actually read the rest of it so that I can do it justice, because Isabel's books are always beautifully written and always have lots of emotion. I'd made a video about her book that's based in Prague last Christmas, so I'll link that one below so you can see exactly what I mean about her writing. It is beautiful, and so I really do want to do it justice. Then we have some other books that I want to get to, some books that I've got from the library, a couple of books I've got on audiobooks. Again, apologies if I haven't got those ones. I've got my iPad here with my blog post, so I remember exactly what I have. So I'm currently, again, I've had this on a couple of my TBRs. I don't think I've mentioned it on here, but on my blog post I've written about this on a couple of TBRs because I kept borrowing the ebook from the library and trying to read it, but finally my hold of the paperback came through, so I'm hopefully going to read this in paperback. This is one of those that I know I will pick up and read all in one, and that is The Sun and Her Flowers by Rupi Kaur. I read Milk and Honey, and I have The Princess Saves Herself in this one. Here, right here. And so I wanted to read this one, and I have read some of it on the ebook form on my phone, but I think because it's got illustrations in, it would be better to read in its physical book, because the illustrations just don't come across as nicely on the ebook on the phone as they do in the paperback. And I mean, you can see some of these pages don't have an awful lot on, so it is definitely going to be a quick read, and I know I will enjoy it because I've already started reading it on my phone. These books require a lot of explanation. I'm not sure why they require so much explanation. Apologies that this video is going long. Stick with me, I promise. And then I have a book where I read the first book in the series, and so I've put this on my January TBR. I don't know whether I will get round to it in January, but I'm putting it on there because I want to read the next book, you know, when it's fresh in your mind, when you know there's a sequel to something you've read, and that is The Little Bigfoot in the Big City by Jennifer Weiner. I've shared this on my Instagram because it's just a gorgeous cover, and like the library book, it also has a map as well. So let me just, I hadn't undressed this book. This is so pretty. Look at the gorgeous colours. And then the spine is silver. How gorgeous is that? But like the library book, it has a map as its end pages. And this is my copy, so I can actually see it. The dust jacket is not stuck down. I love this map. Maybe next time I go to New York, I'll take this map with me, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I know where I am. Except I kind of do anyway. I love the illustration of Central Park. Can you see that? Yes. So this one is on my January TBR because I read the first book in the series in the month of December. I read part of it on physical book and listened to part of it on audiobook. And so I wanted to put the sequel on my January TBR. Whether I'll get to it or not, I do not know. But this is my book, not a library book. And I've got a couple of library books I wanted to share with you as well. The first one is one that I got that I didn't realise I wanted to read until everybody was talking about it at Christmas, and then of course I couldn't get it, and then I went into the library the other day and they had it, so this is kind of new, and that is 7 Days of Us by Francesca Hornack. This one I don't know an awful lot about, but I've heard a lot of people were reading it over Christmas because it's slightly festive, so it hopefully will make me feel nice and festive again come January, because you know what January is like. And then another one which has already been on another TBR. I had it out the library when I was back in the UK, and then I have it now, and it kind of was, I think it's been on the last like 3 months TBRs, but hopefully I'm going to get it read in January because it keeps needing to go back to the library, and then and that is Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls. And the second book in this is already out, and I haven't read the first one, and I know I'm going to enjoy it, so this one is firmly on my January TBR as well. And then one that I've had on another TBR, like possibly even this time last year or earlier, but I finally got on audiobook. I was waiting for it to come on audiobook because they had the CD of it in the library, but I was waiting for it to come on electronic audiobook, and it finally did, yay. And I was listening to it right before filming this video, so I'm well into it. And that is You Know Me Well by, just got it down here, David Levithan and Nina LaCour. And yes, I'm currently listening to it. I'm about a quarter of the way through, so probably by the time this video is up, I might even be finished it. So yes, apologies that this video has been so long. Apparently I'm in a rambly mood. Maybe I shouldn't film another video after this one. Who knows? So yes, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below if any of these books are on your January TBR, or if you would like to hear a full review of any of these. I haven't filmed a review in a while, so if you've got any suggestions, let me know. Please do click that subscribe button. I would love to have you on board. And yes, I will have another video for you next week. I'm hoping to go back to my Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule next week, so look out for a video from me on Monday. This is going up on Thursday because I was doing a Tuesday, Thursday this week. So yes, I will see you next week with another video. Bye!